Hey, let's see where Zen will take this statement, this cheerleading statement that's been going around for quite a long time. If love was the answer, wouldn't things have been changed already? Because I know there's a lot of people with a lot of love in their hearts, a lot of love in their minds, a lot of love in their whole being. I think one of the problems here is most people don't know what love is, and how do you even classify it? Is it an action or is it just a belief system? I mean, you can't qualify something as loving. Like there's no direct action. You can't say that's the correct action and that's love. Just like there's that idea of tough love and what are the love is somehow a learned behavior mechanism in this society, in all of the world. Like people have confounded and confused whatever that might be. It's the most overused and most misunderstood word ever. And so I have a very big problem with it because I don't know that anybody even. Do you know what it means? What does it mean? You could give 1,000 different meanings in 1,000 different events in 1,000 different, like this is it's just a word, and the people like to just stand behind it. Yeah, because you got these lobbyists out here, and you got these lobbyists for all sorts of different pharmaceutical, chemical pushing industries. You've got these warlords. You've got these military industrial complex that's going on. You've got people poisoning the food. No, let's just love them. That will answer everything. Has that worked? I mean, I'm not suggesting in any way that the answer is something in the realm of do something violent or negatively physical. Like this is not what I'm suggesting by any means. I wonder what this cheerleading rant that people go on, love is always the answer. What does that even mean? How can you say that? Well, if it's always the answer, well then the answer is fucking wrong. If we're putting it bluntly, because I know a lot of people that have loved a lot of things, and it seems like the world is in a pretty shitty place, doesn't it? I mean, it's always like, let me weave this into everyone's bootleg ass heroes. And it's all these people, I don't want to be your guru, but they want to be on TV writing 1,000 books. I took a look at a picture of Ram Dass today, and I was like, that dude is a big pile of like donkey meat. Like, I don't know he's looking crusty as shit. Like all probably drugged up on some shit. I don't know. And then I was thinking about everybody's favorite Oprah. Who's her little doggy toy? What's his name? The guy with the ears that he's from Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle. Hey, don't get me wrong when I'm saying these things. I like to bring a little bit of my style of biting humor to things, but because I do enjoy both of them very much. I've learned quite a bit from the both of them. But there is something that is off-putting and it doesn't equate to anything. It's not the answer. It's just like this whole Gandhi thing and this whole these teachers, these profound wisdom keepers, and they're always telling people to just be okay with being terrorized, be okay with the abuse, be okay with the governmental neglect, be okay with just relax. Watch the sitcom, sit and be calm. Situational comedy, sitcom, sit and be calm, Read this book. Oh, I'm not your guru, but I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to have 1 million followers. Buy my book. Get my new book. I'm not your guru. I mean, and these are the people that are always spitting out this love and light, namaste, go vegan dog shit. It's a mantra. Do you see? I've explained to everyone before, very in depth, how magic works, what mantra is, what those vibrations do to the body. if you don't know what the word love even means or how to even establish and form it, then it's empty. It's empty. It's completely without justification. There's no, you talk about the golden compass. Well, like, yeah, in that way you can always kind of navigate through your spirit what's right. That doesn't, what's the correct move in this scenario. But I don't know anybody. They're gonna be like, oh, somebody's like, beating the shit out of their kid. I mean, you'd probably step in and stop that. That wouldn't be, you might do, well, but I punched him with love in my fist. I mean, it's just to say the kind of, these mantras that are so, they just skip over the point. They skip over the, where we are. They skip over, like, what does that mean? What was the question? Let's start with that. If love is the answer, what was the question? Now again, there's all of these great teachers, and I'm not suggesting that love is not the answer. I'm just asking everybody, what is it? How does it occur? Where does it form from? Does it really legitimately come out of someone's heart? Why is it connected to that? We're going to play some, you're going to have these people like, they think they know something about the chakras, the chikars, I mean, call it however you want. Start using a different language and call it use the Indian names, and even though that's not your culture, and even though you have no clue what that Muladhara chakra means, you don't even know the language, and you're going to speak this out, well, and the red chakra, it's called and I could play that game with you guys, but the point of this is I'm trying to make is what is it so meaningful, because the red chakra would be the middle one, and the bottom one would be the red one. The middle one would be green, The middle one would be green, so I don't know why they make the heart red, because it seems like that would be the lowest one. But then it gets very confusing, because I'm like, well, what is? Because everybody goes, love, and they love someone, they get married, and then everything ends in divorce because they actually hate the person they're with, because they don't actually love themselves or whatever that is. And this goes into the whole transgender nonsense. People that are transgendered want you, like they want you to respect and love them, even though they don't love and respect it the way they were born. Not even to get into all of the secondary, methodologies that go into the larger society and programming people to find themselves to not have worth. I mean, this goes into even deeper things, like, taking away the heritage and the history and the roots of even the natives of this land, and making people believe that they came from Africa and they're slaves, and because that's not true. There's no Africans here. A lot of Native Americans, and there's a lot of there's a lot going on here, more than we can even get into. But fueling this back into this self-hatred that is taught. If we're taught only self-hatred and hatred towards everything, how can anybody express and show love? People think they found it. Oh, the way to show love is to do this or do that, or because a lot of times what showing love is, I've found quite directly that showing love is not telling the truth. If you speak the truth, you are not loved. Why? Oh, you know how many times I've been physically assaulted for saying truthful statements to people? I find it amusing. I'll talk shit to anybody. I don't care. But I speak truth. So apparently that's not love. Truthfulness is not loving to people because they don't like it. Doesn't matter what it is. I can be saying with a smile on my face, happy. It doesn't matter. So if I was going to equate love and truth, it wouldn't work. Not in this society. So I'd have to say that love is not equated to truth. So would love be lying? What would love be? How do you accomplish this task? Do you just sit there and be? Well, that's pretty good. I think it's a good step, because I always like to give kind of my little input on solutions and on how to orientate yourself, and to give yourself a place of, certainly need self-love, and that includes All of your bumps and bruises and all, warts and everything, as they say. And you can always change these things, It's accepting where you are now and moving from there. It's easy to do. Oh, but the easy things are the hardest because it's just too simple. But in this notion of even that, like self-love, I got, well, what is that? What does that mean? I say to somebody, the most loving thing you could do for yourself would be to fast or drink your urine. And I'm already, at that point, I'm already 1,000 miles away from anybody's consciousness of what they believe love to be. Because, apparently we have, I don't know how many millions and billions of people that believe love has something to do with slaughtering animals and eating them. Now, that doesn't seem too loving to me. But in the same way, I can find those people, right? And they could be good husbands and good wives and good fathers and good mothers and grandparents and in the community and helping and, there could be a lot of things. But then I have to go, oh, but it's under this sinister type of diabolical capitalist society which leeches and breeds off of the succubusing of energy of, then we could play that long game. It's like, oh, well, how could anybody love anything in this society? How could anybody accomplish whatever it is that love would be doing if we don't even know what the question is and don't even know how do we accomplish this? Oh, it just means smiling, give somebody a nice hug. Yeah, that's enjoyable. That's great. That's wonderful. But you know how many times, and I don't care who you are, everybody's been in this experience where they tried, they were just literally like beaming in there. They're just like, hey, it's all right, guy, da da da. It's a great day, da. And you try to be nice to somebody, and you really are just like feeling like, oh, I'd like to give you some of my warmth and what feels like love. And the response is in the opposite direction, because that person has the same type of ideas that the people that are part of like a BDSM kind of shit. This whole like, I want whips and chains with my, right? They've used pain to produce a pleasure. They've used the idea of suffering a pain so much. This has to do with the hero programming, and I hope you can see the connection here. People find themselves, they suffer so much so that the release of that suffering is the pleasure they're looking for, because everything else seems empty. So in that way, their perception of love has something to do with violence and hate and seemingly like destruction and Shiva, like a real deal amount, like not even in a constructive form, but just literally in what's the most violation against the temple. And this is sought all across the world through all the times. What did the Christians used to do? They used to take the whips and smash themselves in the back, right? You get up and you've got what culture is it that will get on their hands and knees and crawl across the desert? I mean, maybe not the desert, but there's so many different cultures that it requires so much. Like, you're born into sin, and there's all of this. Like, there's where we live in this culture. So how can anybody find and define and show love and that be the solution to anything? Because people can't understand it. They can't facilitate it. They can't even ingest it. You try to love somebody that doesn't want that type of what, so then you're out in an impasse. So I guess I just asked the question, and what's the pathway for people? Because time and time again, I'm finding myself, seeing these popularized love and light type guru-esque, here's the shit and this is the way, and I'm like, I just scratched my head like, yo, this has been going on for millennia. Like, there's been people out here, being love this, but it doesn't appear to anyone's imagination anywhere that this shit on this plane of existence, however you want to break this down, but we talk about this reality, it doesn't appear that the controllers, the mechanisms of the architects of control that are in place right now, and the psychopathic behaviors and the lack of care that they have for the world and their even their what they believe in to be spirituality, physicality, and such. I don't know who they are or what they're doing. I don't know if they're overcome by a wicked demon from a very low place that feels. I mean, that's probably something that's going on here, but nonetheless. So shouldn't that love cure that demon? Shouldn't as all the great stories he told, the powers of the great story of the heroic son, the Jesus on the cross figure, come and, overwhelm the demonic satanic force with the help of the Father. Like, that's always the story, right? But again, it has nothing to do with love. It never has anything to do with love. And it does have to do with defeating and destroying something evil, though, so that doesn't seem too loving to me. Or is it? So, here we are back at baseline, right in the middle of the, sector 0, the pinpoint of your mind, the precipice of all of your reality. As you take a deep breath and go, that seemed like a loving thing. You take a sip of some water, maybe, or maybe you just breathe, and then you're confronted. If once again, when you get rid of all of these words and all these ideas, what is it that love is? Eliminate the word, and you have no idea what it is. I mean, it seems like it has something to do with, animals and how they might react and respond to things because of an energetic construct. But it's still not love, right? But then you'd have to, this has to do with like domesticated versus undomesticated feral creatures, because they're both going to respond differently because their environments and their environmental stimuli is different, which puts even humans as abstractions of the environmental stimulus. So who's to know who the great teachers and leaders are out here? I mean, certainly it's supposed to be yourself and your own consciousness, but they're, since we're all interconnected as in a webbing across the entire plane, there's something that occurs that unlocks and releases, energies of people and inspires people, but still doesn't equal love to me. I think people have really got to. This is what I always try to convey: is like, get rid of the term vegan, get rid of the term love, like get rid of these religious notions, and love is one. I don't think it exists in the way that people like to. Why did it get so popularized? Why is February 14th Valentine's Day? Who's Valentine? What did he have to do with love? What's he have to do with a heart and getting laid and a piercing of an arrow through the heart? This is all bizarre shit. Like, really, when you get into the, I want to use the word historicity of it, because I think that's a fun word, but truly just the archonic force and the magical spelling kingdom. Why do we come up with all of these conduits of information to lead us to believe, like, Hallmark? Whoa, hey, what's that? It's the mark of the hall. And what's the hall? You go down the hallway, there's a lot of ways we could play this game. And it's always in a card, and then I can play that game with you guys all day, but it's not gonna reveal to you the truth. You walk through the store, they're gonna buy the card that has Hallmark signature on it, that somebody made up all of these weird holidays, and you're instinctually brought into this place to buy it for Mother's Day and Father's Day and Secretary's Day and Valentine's Day. And we got one for the Irish and we got one for the Mexicans. What? That's crazy, B. That's crazy. Then we got our July 4th too. Don't forget about that. I mean, we definitely got the really good one with that Christ guy. Now we're stuck here again. Like, who's bringing you to these points? They bring you to these ebbs and these flows and these fluxes of energy that you need to be reminded and remedied about these things. That on December 25th, you will delight in all of the majesty of this guy that died on a cross, right? And even if you don't believe that story, even if you're agnostic, even if you're atheist, even if you're whatever it might be, you could have a different religion, you're still going to kind of celebrate that. and you're going to push energy into that day. And it's gonna work on that calendar and that time and your own rhythms. Up here comes holidays, and then the New Year's. There's another one. Let's check that calendar again. And then what's coming up next. Ups and downs. It's a rhythm of whatever you're pulling at your heartstrings. But nonetheless, in all ways, all of these holidays are based upon a birth and death, a creation and destruction cycle. Because most people hate Valentine's Day. But everybody makes out to be a big deal. Most people fucking hate Christmas because they know Santa Claus. They were lied to about Santa Claus. And then when people really get into it and realize Satan Claus and the Christian gimmick and the whole bullshit. And then they actually fucking hate hanging out with their entire extended family because their whole extended family sucks. Okay, so now you got 2 holidays where you go, oh, anxiety, waste a bunch of money. Anxiety, waste a bunch of money. You see what's happening here? I'm anxious about something. Now it's called fear and... You see, this is always programmed in. Fear and consumption. Fear the holiday, buy this shit. Oh, she won't hate me, buy her some chocolates and some candy. Oh, fuck, you get all these presents for these people that they don't... And everybody just exchange gifts and hates each other and doesn't know anything about one another's fucking real life. Right, and then let's move on to the next one. Let's keep doing that. And they do it year round. And they keep you in a cycle. Spun out of your fucking mind. Spun into the belief of their idea of Jove. Of the planet that it's not even a planet. It's a moving body of energy that they use to point at and say, well, that's what Jove is. That's what love is. That's what get into all the different signs and Jupiter and but again, it's always. I'm telling you how it's done, so you can just go, I'm not part of that. That's not how my time works. Time doesn't exist to me. I'm immortal like the immortal cell. The eating shit. On these holidays, Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's a great one to celebrate, right? People are gonna just consume gross amounts of food and meat products, right? Great idea. That's great and a great day to celebrate too, right? Because Thanksgiving, whoa, brilliant time of year. I don't know if anybody was very aware of that history. What else do we need here? So this whole culture that's dedicated to confusing people, you better take a hard look at the things that you profess your energy to, and one of them is love. It's the word love. It's the idea of love, just like veganism, just like all these other things. And I'm not saying, once again, that I'm saying go hate things, and I'm not saying to not be eating a plant-based diet. I'm not saying any of that. In fact, I believe in the two notions. I just think you need to be reminded very clearly that these words are not, they're containers and vessels for tiny little fragments of the entire experience of whatever life is. No, life is always the answer. Life, not love. Maybe death is the answer too. Who knows? That's for everybody to choose. So enjoy your days, y'all. We'll talk soon.